Welcome to the Horror Hangout podcast, where film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time and talk about them. My name is Ben Errington, and I'm joined today by regular co-host Mr.
Andy Conduit Turner. Hello, Ben. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. I'm good. How are you? You feeling
I, I'm,
festive?
I feel more festive with each passing day, Ben. I imagine that feeling will not continue indefinitely, but will sort of peak towards the end of this month and
Yep.
then slowly subside. But right now, at time of recording, on the up
On the
festively.
up. Apparently, this week is the week where you're supposed to be like still working, but like proper half-assing it. You know,
Yeah.
some of us don't. Some of us, unfortunately, don't have
Don't
the
get that bloody
privilege of
luxury.
don't have the luxury of being able to do that. I'm not including me in this group. I'm just saying, some people don't have the luxury. But for those that do, and as part of your half-assing, you may be listening to a podcast, then welcome. Um, are you the kind of talking about your festive vibes? Are you the kind of person feeling Christmassy? Peaks obviously Christmas Day. Boxing Day, does it go right
Get it
down?
out in the bin.
I'm kind of sick of the Christmas tree, but definitely the 27th.
No, I'm not too
That's
bad at the
gone.
Christmas tree. I don't mind it up for the entire period, so Krampus ain't going to be busting down my chimney and slurping me off anytime soon. But
Have you got a date that is definitely got to come down by the first of Jan?
no, whatever. It's like a few days in and that 12th night, and I do it based on what the closest approximate weekend is to that.
Stop being really understanding about this
I
situation.
gotta be. I mean, you can
Be
be livid about
unreasonable.
it, but I can't throw it out unreasonably because for sustainability reasons, Ben, I have a potted Christmas tree, so I got to go and plant that bugger out in the garden. That's going to be
Oh, I see what you mean.
that's really a reason to delay that work.
Yeah, exactly. Krampus is a movie that I think it's come into the circulation for a lot of people on their Christmas
Yeah.
watch lists. This is probably the maybe like the second or the third time I've seen it. It's not been one that I've seen tons of times. I remember like kind of thinking it was okay, but not being hugely impressed by it originally. And this watch is I feel slightly different. Obviously directed by Michael Dougherty, who obviously made Trick or Treat and he Godzilla King of the Monsters. Andy, did you know
There
that?
you go. My favourites.
Involved. Yeah. So obviously he's got quite a substantial filmography so far. So that's pretty exciting. Um, yeah. There are tons of Krampus films. So have you ever put Krampus into your search
Your
search mechanism
browser of choice and
browser
watched
of
all
choice?
of the
Oh, oh
Santa
man,
versus Krampus and all
it
those
is.
delights that are on all the streaming platforms.
It's absolutely crazy. Like terrifying. I would say. Like
Yeah,
how
Krampus
many?
is second only to Amityville for the amount of things that people can churn out featuring him.
Yeah, Krampus the Christmas Devil, Krampus the Reckoning, Krampus 2 the Devil Returns, Krampus Unleashed, Krampus Origins, Krampus the Return. Krampus is here. Krampus Carol, Krampus Schnacht. I don't know what that one is. There's a whole bloody list on Letterboxd of 30 films for Krampus. Um, Similar in a way that the Hallmark Channel makes uh lovey-dovey.
Lots of nice ones about Kelly Rowland
Lots of
learning not
nice
to
ones
work so
about
bloody hard,
yeah.
working for BuzzFeed or whatever she does, and just fall in love in your hometown for a bit if you could.
I do like this because I can imagine like imagine a situation where there are loads of people and they're all bonding over things like, "What's your favorite Christmas film?" And people are saying Home Alone and Elf and I really like Love Actually, and then an absolute rogue who thinks he's the Joker,
Someone
will
dressed
go,
as the Joker walks in.
"Well, my favorite film's Mother Krampus, actually." Oh no, I've never seen that. Actually, Mother Krampus 2 Sleigh Ride, released in 2017, is
Is
my
it sleigh
favorite.
ride spelt Slay?
Most definitely. And people go, don't you like watching nice films at Christmas? And he goes, no, I like watching horrible films of gore instead of lovely presents.
Literally over my Christmas dinner when my nan comes round, because my grandma does still come round, but
Yeah.
I watch the most horrible film I can think of.
I mean, each to their own, isn't it? Each to their own. Better Watch Out is the one for me where I go,
You hate it, don't you?
hate that film.
You think
Um,
it? Do you?
might
I
need to
think I've
rewatch it.
heard that you reckon it spits in the face of the spirit of Christmas.
It does. It just spits in the face of the spirit of of life, really.
Not being a horrible little shithead.
I don't mind watching a horror film where terrible things happen to people and it's set at Christmas, whatever. What I don't like is feeling pure rage at a character. And I know, of course, that means
What I
that
don't
character
like
was
is really rude kids.
what, beyond rude. I just don't like films that. I mean, it's obviously a good film, a good performance. The fact that I do hate that kid so much, but I don't reckon I slept for like at least a night.
Just grinding your teeth. Charlie makes you up.
Just
What's up, babe?
grinding my teeth.
Just angry at this
I'm
stupid
really
kid.
fuming. Are there any films that you've like seen fairly recently, I would guess, that have become more of a regular staple in your house as for a Christmas
For
watch?
for Christmas, and I say recent, it is not recent. Our house Christmas staples are one called "I'll Be Home for Christmas," where Justin Taylor Thomas gets super good into a Santa outfit and left in the desert. And he has some wacky japes to get back so he
Yeah,
can get a Porsche from his dad. Um, we always watch Jingle All the Way, of course.
yeah.
See what's cracking with that Turbo Man.
Can you tell me what WWE wrestler is in Jingle All the
Oh,
Way?
the Big Show, and he
He knows. He bloody knows,
punches
doesn't he?
punches Ventura in the face. Um, the those are the build up to Christmas ones. Then on Christmas Day, you've obviously got Muppets Christmas Carol, Have a Lovely Cry. What I did watch recently, actually, you say about recent ones and having a bit of a cry. Have you seen? Sorry, welcome to the Christmas Channel, the podcast where film fans talk about Christmas movies and have a lovely time. Have you seen Klaus? That was a Netflix one a couple of years ago,
Oh,
2019.
is that animated?
Yes, it's animated.
I don't know if I've seen it,
Lovely
but
Panic
I'm
at the
aware of it.
Disco soundtrack.
A lovely what
Um,
soundtrack?
Lovely Panic at the Disco
Is
soundtrack.
it?
Well, it's got High Hopes as the main song,
Okay,
but
okay.
it's good. Like I would say, minor spoilers, but no actual story, but emotional spoilers for Klaus. Um, what you'll find is a really funny, kind-hearted. So you'd love it, Ben. There's some
Yeah,
rude kids in it, but they're cheeky, not bad. Um, So
yeah.
a kind-hearted, beautiful Christmas film,
Mm.
very uplifting, very powerful, really like a feel-good time. You'll be with them every step of the journey, Ben. You'll be loving it. Um, you'll be having a great time. And then in the last 10 minutes it will stab you in the heart and make you cry by
Oh
being the most
God,
incredibly sad thing ever.
God.
Um, but it's still worth watching. It is brilliant. But I'm
You're
just saying that I would defy you not to be absolutely
absolutely
emotionally ruined
crumble,
by that
withered.
film.
Yeah, we'll see.
Absolutely withered.
We'll see. Because I was told I'd come out a wicked, bloody blubbering, right? And I was blubbering because it was shite. No, I wasn't. It wasn't shite, but still, but that's not the reason I was
Didn't even
blubbering.
like her singing. No,
Don't even like her, see. What's she greeter, Sabbath?
yeah, have a watch of Klaus. Get
Okay,
get get that up, yeah.
get it up, me. We'll have a little watch.
And of course, bringing it back on to our main reason why we're here. Of course, I always watch Jack Frost and Gremlins every year.
Oh yeah, Gremlins. I've got Gremlins lined up to watch at some point before the year is out. Anything else? 'Cause I'm about to sneeze, so you might as well fill this dead air.
Yeah, well, when sneezing, I say my favorite thing about Gremlins is, of course, when the gremlins dressed as carol singers
Yeah.
murder the avaricious old woman
Mm.
um, who doesn't want anyone to have Christmas or a house and wants to repossess everyone's houses
Yeah, that's not
and
fair, is
murder
it?
their dogs.
Oh,
I don't feel sad that they play with their chairlift and catapult her to her ultimate death.
not sad at all. That's a
No,
lovely heartfelt
I
story.
find
That
it
makes me
funny.
cry.
Yeah.
Okay, what have we got? Some horror news. So
Yeah, what's new?
There's a trailer for 28 Years Later. We've done a
Was
reaction.
there?
We've
We
done a
did, didn't
reaction.
we? See
That's
me playing this I hadn't heard for a second there, but I have.
go and get your eyes and your ears around that. That's on our YouTube channel. Us watching the 20 Years Later trailer. Um, we think it looks pretty good. Danny Boyle, Alex Garland, they're both back. That's the trailers. I don't think the trailer gives away too much. It's set to like a a poem, like a Rudyard Kipling poem,
Rudyard
which is
Kipling poem, Boots, Boots,
kind of
Boots.
creepy. Boots, boots, boots. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know quite what to expect because, as I mentioned, the gulf in quality between the original and 28 Weeks Later is huge, and I kind of don't want that again. I don't
Yeah.
think we'll get that again. I
And
feel
what
a
I'm
little bit
also
more
saying,
confident with
everyone,
this one.
go and listen to our full discussion on that on the special episode, and you'll understand now why I, Andy Conduit Turner, have bone temple anxiety.
You've got bone temple anxiety, and that is not an STD.
No,
No, it wouldn't be. Yeah, go
because
and check it out.
if it was anxiety, it would still be a mental health problem.
That's true.
I'd be quite fine.
That's true. Sorry to assume it's an STD. How silly of me. That's my problem. So, what else we got? Oh, there's some news of a new Evil Dead film. Can you believe it?
Oh,
2026.
tell me.
Sebastian Vanisek who directed Infested. That's right.
Oh, which I enjoyed a lot.
Spiders in the bloody um,
France.
spider. Spiders in the bloody France. Spiders in a high-rise building in France. And also that's interesting because obviously Evil Dead Rise took place in a high-rise building, so it's a nice bit of crossover there. But yeah, he's officially announced that this movie is he's
Uh,
working on it. Script is written, Evil Dead Burn, and teases the caption. Sorry, the photos caption says 2026 Unleashed. Evil Dead Burn. How do we feel about this? What could potentially happen in Evil Dead Burn?
Evil Dead Burn. So like a fire would burn you,
Yep.
or burn with a Y, like comedian Ed Burn.
Hmm. Apparently, but Ed Burn. Maybe it's about Ed Burn. Apparently, the director said, "I told the studio I wanted to make a nasty film, a film that hurts, from which you come away tested,
Oh,
tested,
test it. That's a good.
tested, blood tested, STD tested. He's gonna put his all into the horror he has inside. It will be cathartic, and if I haven't ruined my career and I continue to make films behind it, I will move on to something other than horror." Okay, so he's using Evil Dead Burn
As a method to attempt to ruin his career.
as a stepping stone to potentially making something else. Forget horror. I want to see a real film, is what I'm saying.
You're going to come away
Um,
tested, and then I'm going to go and make a Borderlands
I'm gonna go make a bloody Borderlands, mate. That's
and
absolutely
try and ruin
crying
my
out for a
career of doing
sequel.
that. No, I'm up for
Um,
this. This sounds good.
oh yeah, well up for it. I think there was such a big time. There was such a gap between the 2013 Evil Dead,
Hmm.
um, and then obviously Evil Dead Rise. It's nice to get some more. Obviously, no, I don't want to be. I don't want too many. You
There'll be
know,
chockers with Evil Deads,
don't want to be
unless
chockers of Evil Dead, but I
you
am
could make
very.
them completely unconnected. I would watch an
I
Evil
hope
Dead
so.
every couple of years where it's
I
like
hope so.
these got nothing to do with each other. John Carpenter's original vision for Halloween, like there's an
Yeah.
Evil Dead, and it has the loose thing in that there are Deadites, and sometimes you'll play the wrong compact disc, sometimes you'll play
What are you listening to in there?
the wrong megaphone record, and then they'll come out. They'll be amongst it, but it could be anywhere.
Yeah. 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 I agree.
Maybe it's
If
called
there's
Evil Dead Burn because he burns that record onto a CD
yeah. Oh
using
yeah.
Nero
Maybe
Burning Room,
there we
and
go. How
that's
do you
how
even
it all
get a CD
starts.
burner these days? Don't worry, you can still get them. I got one. Um, and the other piece of news I've got is off the back of an interview that I did, a bonus episode recently, chatting to Brandon Salisbury, who is the writer director of the documentary George A. Romero's Resident Evil. Check out the interview I did with him on the feed. It was an extended interview. We talked a lot about his relationship with Resident Evil, his opinion on everything Resident Evil, the films, the Netflix series, the 2021 movie, Welcome to Raccoon City. And then, while I kind of grilled him about that, he also said, "Oh, and I've also got a film coming out, a video game adaptation as well. And
Now,
it's an
what is that? What
adaptation,
is that game?
Faith, the Unholy
Faith.
Trinity,
That was
which
it.
is like an 8-bit sort of horror movie. Sorry, not horror movie, horror game
I need to
from
check that out.
Airdorf Games. And yeah, he's making the film that is potentially going to be the first film in a trilogy, his movie adaptation of that. And he was telling me as well about lots of other things he's working on. So if you're interested in that and hearing somebody who's clearly very, very passionate about um, bringing games to life as movies, then definitely go and check out that
I'm
interview.
really
It's a
excited
fascinating one.
to watch this documentary. I have listened to all but the last 6 minutes of your interview, Ben, which I will
Oh,
finish
lovely.
later. My
What
only
happened with the last 6 minutes? They made just stop.
no, I had to come and record this.
Oh,
I
right. Okay.
literally was to the bloody
Sorry to
wire
interrupt.
listening. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the documentary. The only piece of feedback I have, Ben, to share with you on the whole thing was
Mm.
that after all the conversations you and I had about the Netflix series, you talked to one bloke about, just because he's the director of an upcoming Resident Evil
Yeah,
documentary. If you now finish that series on his recommendation, I'm
I
going to
have
be
to.
livid.
I have to admit, since then, my like want to go and watch it is completely dissipated. It's gone again. I've
I
got.
mean, good. Now, if I, who spend hours with you every week, can persuade you to watch it, I mean, to be fair, he did
I'm
make a more
like,
compelling argument in the fact that he said, "Oh, there's loads of really interesting things that it could have been," whereas I said there's a very funny bit where there are loads of bloody Weskers and one of them is
yeah,
really into eating breadsticks.
yeah.
I
Oh
still think my
man,
argument is more credible.
yeah. Oh bloody hell. Um, yeah, but this news was broken by bloody disgusting. So there's a whole article over there talking about this adaptation for Faith the Unholy Trinity. So go and check that out. And it's a game I've never played, so it's made me also want to go and check that out wherever I can. Um, yeah, but really looking forward to George A. Romero's Resident Evil. I said that we'd possibly do. I mean, maybe we could do a bonus episode on it or something when once we get to see it. Um,
So it's
yeah.
available digitally in January, right? And I know that you, Ben, will be straight on to you'll be on Amazon.de trying to pre-order a German copy for the
Oh
European
yeah,
release.
there's a
But
German
that's not till
version.
February over here, so you might have to try and
Oh
get a US copy.
yeah, I'll try my best. I'll see what I can do and try my best to get hold of a copy because I would like to see it.
If we can do some schmoozing, Ben, see if we can't get us a lovely screener to watch. I'll do a bonus episode with you.
Sounds lovely, man. That sounds lovely. Let's do it. Um, but yeah, looking forward to January. We've got Nosferatu on January the 1st. We've got Wolfman
The Wolfman Eye.
January the something, 27th, 17th, something like that. Looking forward to it. That's all I got down for news. Got anything?
Uh, Nothing news-wise. I've got something that goes into a bit of news, but it's connected to something I've been watching, so I'll save it.
Well, kick off immediately with something you've been watching.
Well, Ben, if I would break down my watching into watching and then playing this week, because I've actually a little bit
Nice.
of computer game time, but I'll talk about that in just a minute. Things I have watched since we last recorded. Obviously, been traveling about the place. Haven't had a tremendous amount of time to watch things, but we are recording a couple of days later, so I've managed to sneak a few under the door.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Um, One thing I have watched is a man synonymous with horror, whose initials, as we've said on the show before, are Errol Anthony Hayes.
Oh
Hails
yeah.
as he has a new feature out
Yes, he
uh,
does.
called Advent,
Yes.
which is a found footage, a low budget British found footage horror movie about got a bit of Krampus about it. Is about a young YouTuber who finds herself a Krampus calendar and goes about completing the challenges within it. Um, a really, really interesting concept. Obviously, these are films made with a micro budget and independent filmmaker, so do not expect a big CG Krampus to burst down your chimney and eat your gran, like in the film we're about to talk about today. But there is an interesting angle looking at a combination of myths of old, sort of olden days myths and legends, and the connection between Christmas and Krampus myths and the actual devil,
Mm.
and sort of modern urban legends and sort of, these social media driven challenges that look at old rituals and stuff. There's some interesting exploration about the film there. And also, there is one particular shot. I'll have to message Errol and tell him about it that I think is super effective. There's one particular POV scare shot that comes up that I thought was pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
But I can't spoil it here. It's
Hmm.
available to rent and to buy on Amazon and on Apple TV right now. I'm sure Errol will be able to share when else it's available. But 'tis the season. If you want to
Yeah.
support an independent horror film and a former guest of the show, I think is always doing exciting and fun
Absolutely. Yeah.
stuff. It's worth chucking a couple of quid that way as well.
Hell
So
yeah.
take a look at that. Other than that, I also earlier today watched. I don't know if you've seen this or not, Ben. I know it gained quite a bit of cult status in the last few years. Have you seen The Love Witch?
No, I've not seen The Love Witch. What's that
It is
about?
a 2016 horror pseudo, I'd say dark comedy, but it has a lot of that folk horror energy. It's about a young witch who leaves her old home and her problematic marriage, and breaks out anew in a fresh town and uses her magic to make men fall in love with her with disastrous results.
Disastrous results. Oh no.
Disastrous and sexy results.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have never seen a modern film which so perfectly captures like that sort of 1960s vibe. If I didn't know the year it was made, it is tuned to an absolute fine tea. The production
Looking
on
at
it,
looking at the screenshots, I mean, it just looks like a 60s movie.
yeah,
There's no way it looks like
like
anything
it
else.
has been crafted so well to appear in that one. There
Hmm.
are some lovely catchy tunes there. There's some lovely Hey Nonny Nonny music when they go to a Renaissance fair. Um, it's quite funny. The delivery even of the lines. There's a police sergeant who's one of the major characters in it, and his delivery is so on point for being like 60s dialogue. I think it's a wonderful comedy. It is quite bloody and disturbing in some places. It is a niche film, and some people I think was, "What the fuck have you recommended to me, Andy? What are you talking about?" But I really
That's
liked
tight.
it. I think it's really, really interesting.
Wow, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have to add it to the list. It looks great. It looks
Yeah.
fascinating. Any
So that's
recommendation from you is a good one, Andy?
yeah. I think if you want to see something a bit interesting, a bit different to everything else you're watching, that's one to check out.
Yeah. Anything else at all?
Um, After that, Ben, it's the bits I've been playing.
Lovely.
So a couple of things. One, polished off a little something. So the Mortal Kombat DLC, at least the story portion of it, has now been completed. So Mortal Kombat, so based on the new Mortal Kombat 1, just confusing, look it up. Um,
Yep.
Chaos Reigns is the update, which is a follow-on of the story from where the story of the mainline game
Hmm.
ended, where the forces of chaos come over and threaten to take over the world. We get a lot of exploration into the background of some other characters that have been introduced to the game. So there are new versions of robot ninjas, Cyrax and Sector, that are really good. We also get a proper origin of like the undead Nether Ninja himself, Noob Saibot, that's really interesting and fleshes out the character possibly more than he ever has been. And obviously, these are characters a lot like lots of the characters in Mortal Kombat who had been designed as a joke that all of a sudden now in these new retellings have had
Yeah.
such a fleshed out story.
Yeah.
So I've been having a play of that. That was really fun, a nice, good story expansion experience. And then, of course, getting the opportunity to play some more of those DLC characters. I made a point of playing as Ghostface. Sorry, I'm unmasked. It is Billy Loomis's face, but I think they
Is
imply
it?
that
Okay,
maybe
okay.
others are in it as well. Um, the main line fatality, which I think you probably may have seen on YouTube as well, is a wonderful, really leaning in to the fourth wall breaking and postmodernist approach of Scream. When you do your initial fatality after winning a match, you so Ghostface jumps onto the character you've defeated and starts just stabbing them. Then all of a sudden you get CRT filter over the top of the screen. It pans out to see Johnny Cage playing on his PlayStation or Xbox saying, oh, what the fuck hours I spoke. This is just a guy with a knife. And then Ghostface pops up behind him and
Oh,
stabs
right.
him. Very good.
Classic.
Very,
Very,
very
very good.
good.
Yeah.
And animalities are in there now, Ben. I tell you what, I will post you a Coca-Cola, Ben, if you can guess what animal Scream turns into for his animality.
What animal he turns into for his animality?
Mhm.
Phew.
His animalities are back, Ben.
Animalities are back. Yeah. God, is it obvious or is it just mad?
I don't think you're going to guess it, which is why I was willing to post you a Coca-Cola.
Supposed to be a Coca-Cola. It's got to be in a cat. Is it a squirrel?
It's not a squirrel. I'll give you one more guess.
Uh, a porcupine.
Unfortunately, not Ben. I'm sure this would have been your third guess, but it is a sort of a buzzard or vulture.
You're not even sure. This has been your third guess.
It's one
So
of those.
kind of a
It's one of those.
buzzard,
It's one of those
vulture.
birds that get you in the desert.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pokey
that's
bird.
that's what he does. So yeah, I've done that, but I've also, having finished that game, I started a couple of new ones, Ben. A couple of new ones which saw their releases this week. I know you've been up to your eyeballs in Silent Hill, but I've not
Yeah.
been there yet. Instead, I got for some bargain prices, I might say as well. They have definitely the right idea when you're looking at these remasters. A price point I'm happy with. One was £20, the other was only 25. Firstly, I got stuck into the remaster of the original Xbox release of The Thing.
Amazing. Amazing. It's on the list. I was toying with the idea of buying it this week, but I thought I'd save it.
Yeah,
Carry on.
it's great. Like I haven't even encountered that much yet. I've only done the first opening chapters, but the mechanics are of a game of their age, but it runs super smoothly. It's a really interesting concept. Your characters, the NPCs that are with you, they all have abilities, but they all have a fear
Mm,
and they all
yeah.
have fear and trust mechanics where they do or don't trust you, and therefore they will help you or not help you or even attack you unless you can prove that you are not
I'm not the
the
bloody
thing.
thing.
Yeah, my memories, my pervasive memories of playing this game are that it can go absolutely bananas. I never finished it on the original run, but one of my memories of playing it was you can get the Petri dish and hot wire
Yeah.
test to prove you're not the thing.
Yeah.
And I only remember, maybe it was the last time I played it, on one of my tests, basically, none of my guys trusted me. So I showed them that I wasn't the thing by doing the test, at which point two of them just turned into the thing and got me
Jesus. Two
and
of them
got
as well,
me.
not even one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very
it's
impressive.
it's mad, and I think it's got a lot of replayability and things happening differently. I'm sure it'll run into frustrations as I get through, but I have started it and it's a lot of fun so far. And then it's got vampires in it, so it's horror coded. I've also started the remaster of Legacy of Kain, Soul
Oh,
Reaver,
cannot believe
and
that
my
they
goodness,
both
I
out in
love
the
it.
same week. You love it. You love it.
I
How much have
love
you
it. It's
played?
still like it's got a little bit of a you will have experienced this, Ben. It's not to that degree. I know you obviously just ground through the Tomb Raider remasters, which I think
Yeah.
probably have the same issue with the fact that even analog stick control is not as free in these old games. You just
No.
can't, unless you completely rebuild them, you can't
No.
totally get it. So there's a little bit of characters that don't function in the same number of directions that you would imagine with a modern platformer, and
Mm.
the camera isn't quite as intuitive as it might be, but especially for a game of its price and the fact that that and the sequel are both in a single package. And the story, I remember loving it so much. I meant to play just a little bit of it last night, and I ended up spending about an hour with it to sort of really explore old Nosgoth, going around looking for some, obviously now achievements and trophies are enabled in that. So I ended up
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
through
of
there and
course.
saying, oh, what wild and weird ways does it want me to kill vampires to get it? And it's just a very simple, satisfying combat engine. You beat up a vampire until it's gone a bit woozy, and then you can pick them up and pierce them on a spike, or you can impale them, or set them on fire, or chuck them
Yeah.
in water, or wang them into like little pillars of sunlight. Um, it's got a lot of creativity for it, and also having been exposed to it for 10 minutes or so, now at the slightest inconvenience, I'm throwing out the old Raziel's. what treachery is this?
No, I did see I did see your post on
Yeah,
Instagram as well.
yeah. So now expect me as the rest of the year goes on to use more and more archaic language than I even do normally. So it's an absolute delight.
10% more.
Yeah,
Oh man, that's
I
good. But
can't wait to get through this, and I hope that of all the things I've recommended everybody, please, for me and for Ben, this is his Christmas present too. Sorry, Ben, you don't get to ask for anything else now. Go and buy this Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver remaster. Make sure it does really well, meaning that the company remasters the follow-up Defiance and then just finishes the series because this
oh
is a
yeah,
story that I have been stuck on a cliffhanger for
that would be lovely, wouldn't it?
years at this point, 20 years maybe.
Well, Tomb Raider Remastered did well enough that they've decided to remaster
Even
um,
Angel of Darkness, right?
even Angel of Darkness, Chronicles, and Last Revelation, which is super exciting. Looking forward to that. I want to play all these. So the thing remastered just dropped, didn't it? Just
Yes,
released.
Shadow dropped it. They just said, "Oh, and
Shadow
it's
dropped,
out now."
and it's out right now. Um, yeah, so I've got the thing on PS2, and I think I did an online play with Ed Harvey, a few years ago now, back when he was doing the enigmatic plays. I joined him for that. So I've played through it back then. So looking forward to see what they've done with it and the remaster. I know it's not like a complete, it's not like a new gen game. It just looks a bit nicer, doesn't it? That's kind
Yeah,
of
they
it.
just smoothed the edges off. He's got a slightly nicer, still got quite a siphon filtery face about him, but he's all right.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Looking forward to it. I mean, and if we're still talking about games, I have finished Silent Hill 2. And the reason I finished it is because I literally could not think about anything else while I was playing it. I couldn't watch anything else. I really, really just had, oh, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. It is amazing. It has to be one of the best like remakes
Oh,
of the
I need
game
to
ever.
bloody get it. Good night.
Mainly for like the atmosphere is great. The story, you just forget how good the story of Silent Hill 2 is because Silent Hill 1, the story's great, but you know when you know you're on the cult stuff starts coming into it, and then obviously you get different endings, and it's very very dark. Literally, I mean literally dark. Like you
Foggy.
can't see bloody anything. Whereas this game, like the art direction is so good, the character models and performances are so good. The areas are great. The combat is awesome without feeling too modernized. Doesn't
Okay.
feel super clunky like it perhaps did in Silent Hill 1 and 2, but the combat is great. Like you really feel, and it's a real case of similar to like a Resident Evil where it's not inventory management, sorry, ammo management. You're just
Yeah.
given enough to get by. You know, you'll find yourself resorting to this big pipe you got so much.
I
And
was piping people for days in that game, I recall.
excuse me. Yeah, you were.
But he
Uh,
lay in some bloody pipe then. That's what it was.
laying some bloody cable, mate. That's different. Uh, but honestly, like I just couldn't stop the boss fights. Unbelievable. Where I think before you were kind of like, oh, I kind of just need to fight for my life. Now there's a bit more strategy to these things. And the music obviously has always been a unbelievable element of the Silent Hill universe, but in this game is so so good. It just adds that extra something. The like breathtaking moments, you know, like something like Death Stranding when when the certain song choices would happen at certain points of the story. Silent Hill 2 kind of does the same. And yeah,
I'm
I
going to
think
need
there are like
to really
six endings
break
I can
habit on this.
six
So,
endings I can get. I've only got
yeah.
one.
Oh, what ending did you get?
I got the in water ending. So I don't think that's a new one. I think that's an old one
I think
because there's a
that
couple of new
it's
ones.
so long since I played it. I
Yeah,
think
there's
the
a couple of new
in-water
ones.
ending was
I
all the
think
others.
it's not a good ending, but you know, I feel like with Silent Hill, in order to get good and bad endings, it's so specific. You have to like interact with certain things in your inventory and interact with certain characters in some ways. Whereas like it had been a while since I'd played Silent Hill 2, like properly sat down and played it. And also like there are some things I was doing where we're like first fight with Pyramid Head, for example, you don't actually have to hurt him. You could just have to survive for 3 minutes.
Let's move
I
out
was
of the
kind of
way.
thinking, what if there's a trophy for like knocking him down or something? So I just went at him, you know. So I was kind of like, yeah, yeah,
Piping him.
come here. Um, but yeah, I mean, it really is good. Like for you get it's a good length as well. Um, and I'm finally gonna get around to Alan Wake 2 soon as well. So
Well, one of these days, eh? One of these
one of
days,
these
that's what I'm
days.
going
Well, I
to start.
think hopefully Santa Claus is bringing it for me, so that'll be nice. Um, but yeah, so that's the main thing I've been playing. And in terms of anything I've watched, I know I mentioned I did rewatch 28 Days Later and 10 out of 10 film. It's always been a 10 out of 10 film for me. Watched it again. Oh, it's still 10 out of 10. Wonderful. And then I also watched a film called, so I saw a couple of things online about this, and I thought, you know what, I'll go and check this out. And it's a film called The Addiction, and it's a
Okay.
vampire film from 1995, and it stars what's her name, Lily Taylor from The Conjuring, and Christopher Walken. He's in it a little bit as well, which is nice. It's directed by Abel Ferreira, who directed like Bad Lieutenant, King of New York. Loves a bit of a and Driller Killer, directed Driller Killer as well. Um, a Video Nasty. This is shot in black and white. It's a very. It reminded me of what's that vampire film with Tilda Swinton and Tom Huddleston? No, that's a footballer. Tom Hidd. What's his name?
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston. What did I say? Tom
Tom Huddleston. I've heard it both ways.
footballer. That's a former midfielder of Derby County. I think. Only Lovers Left Alive. Reminded me of that, where it was a very like, very serious. The vampires were very cool, and it was kind of like there were lots of metaphors, and it was good. It was good. I liked it. It's only short, only like 80 minutes.
Oh, I'm gonna get this. The
Christopher,
Addiction
The Addiction is called, and Christopher
onto my
Walken turns
list.
up for a little
What would
bit.
it sound like, Ben, if Christopher Walken gets surprised by a vampire? What would that sound like?
Wow. My
Isn't that Owen Wilson?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. I can't do it now. I'm confused. He put a watch up his ass in Pulp Fiction.
Up his ass.
That's all I know. Um, yeah, it was good. It was very serious, but it's kind of like the main character is like a philosophy student, and
Oh yeah.
so it's kind of like you can tell they're trying to like the things that she's learning in philosophy, she's kind of like experiencing in real life when she becomes a vampire, but obviously in a completely different way. She's seeing things from the different side
Yeah, because
of how
obviously
she would.
philosophy is very different if you're a vampire.
It is completely different. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, good. Recommend it.
All right,
Again,
add that to
another
the
film. This
list.
is 2 weeks in a row where I've just seen some people talking about a film on Twitter, and I've gone, I've never heard of it. I'm immediately going to watch it. So I did it last week with that film Yellow Brick Road. I said about that, didn't I? Did I mention that?
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah, I did. Which was like a weird sort of cosmic horror film. Well, I'm going to keep doing that. I think when I see anyone, people who I know are interesting on film Twitter and horror Twitter, as soon as people start talking about a certain film, and I go, I've never seen it, rather than add it to a list, I'm literally just going, I'm going to go and watch it
Well,
right now.
we'll see if you see one. If not, I've given you the Love Witch, so you're ready. You've got
Yeah,
options,
exactly. Yeah,
Ben. You've got
it needs
options.
to. Yeah, it needs to be very spontaneous. I feel like so. Let's see what happens.
I think you'll
Um,
like the Love Witch, Ben. I mean, to be fair, I know you would have been watching um, Return of the Living Dead 3 if you just got the second one out the way. I know you
I
like
need to
to
get the
work in
second one out
order,
of the way.
but if you get to that third one, I reckon it'll be in your top 10
Top 10 of all
of all
time.
time.
You think I'm that predictable?
Not predictable, Ben, but I think I've got
Yeah, I'm
enough
that predictable.
data. I've got enough
Yeah.
data to be able to know. Like earlier on when you said, and this might have actually been in a bonus episode when you said that 28 Days Later is maybe in your top three
Mm,
um,
yeah.
horror movies of
I
all
think it's
time.
number three. Yeah.
I reckon I could probably pick. I reckon I could probably get it one and two pretty well.
Yeah. I'm sure you do know number one and two. Do you want to try?
I'm gonna go. I've got a wild card in there. I'm gonna have three guesses, and I think I might get them.
I've
I
actually,
reckon.
I've actually recently been trying to put together my top 100 horror movies ever
Oh
list.
my goodness! I mean, save that for a bonus. Don't spoil anything.
Yeah.
But
Go
I
on.
reckon, and just don't tell me what order it is because that'll be that wonderful content. I reckon in that list, you're also going to be chucking in certainly The Thing, possibly The Fly, Kill list.
Oh, kill list is there. It's on there. Um, well, I can just give you my top five. How I've
Go
got
on.
it currently. It might move. Number one, The Thing. Number
Nailed
two,
it.
The Exorcist.
Number Exorcist. Should have gone that way.
Number three, 28 Days Later. Number four, The Fly. Number five, The Shining.
There you
So
go.
that was kind of like it was kind of like that. And but yeah, Kill List there. Kill List number 13, a little bit further down. But we're forgetting that like there are some of my five-star films are like Blair Witch Project.
The
Uh,
Unnameable.
The Unnamable is not on there, unfortunately. It should be. It really should be.
The TV
Number
special of the Tommy Knockers,
number
only part
100.
two.
But I think I was working on this list like probably about a year ago, so we've seen tons since then. So um,
Oh. You
I'll
see,
try.
Ben, what you've done there is you've tempted me with a good time, which is a massive bit of unnecessary admin that means nothing to anyone except me.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
please.
Well, this is quite good because I've obviously been logging films on Letterboxd since like what 2015, 2016.
Mhm.
So you can just grab the genre and arrange by rating, which is very
It's
handy.
done for you.
Done for you. But you just don't want to miss the ones that obviously you like that we've never necessarily covered in full episodes on this show, like Train to Busan, for example. We've never covered that on the show.
Have we not? I
Um,
thought you and Luke did it.
did we? Confused now.
If we haven't, then we should do it because I need a reason to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, we do. Okay. I don't think we have, but let's have a look. No, we haven't. We
Oh,
haven't.
in that case, let's get it on.
Let's get it on the list. Okay. Apart from, apart from, that's not the
Nothing
correct
else
segue.
apart from.
Nothing else apart from the film of the week, which is Krampus, a 2015 Christmas black comedy horror film, directed by Michael Dougherty. Stars Adam Scott, Tony Collette, David Kushner, and story-wise, a boy who has had a bad Christmas accidentally summons a festive demon to his family home. We've all been there. It's
Mhm.
happened to all of us at least once. Um, 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb. Rotten Tomato score, 66% audience, 52% critics score, 2.9 out of 5 on Letterboxd. And some choice reviews from Letterboxd. Silent Dawn says, an unholy, demented, furious delight. From beginning to end, this vicious little fucker of a film wraps its characters into a tightly knit bow of Christmas terror. 4.5 stars. That's high praise. Matt Lynch says, amusingly prankish. It's no Gremlins, but what could be? Great creature effects. 3 stars. Kevin McAllister would have given Krampus a run for his money any day of the week. Says, username is the emoji of a CD. Three, three
It's that baddie
stars.
from Hellraiser 3.
It is. Death by, I guess it was CD, wasn't it?
Yeah, that DJ gets
Carries on
CD'd.
DJing, doesn't he? Carries
Does.
on DJing while he gets CD'd. And then Ian West says Doherty's attention to seasonal atmosphere is top notch. 4 stars. I will agree with that because I feel like the first like what 15, 20 minutes of this film feel like the perfect the perfect sort of Christmas film for me in a way that I think has only been replicated, has only been achieved by Home Alone
Mhm.
and strangely Black Christmas. I feel like that sort of cozy family, all your family are coming over to the same house. It's cozy. It's dark and cold outside, but you're all inside and it's warm everywhere and there's Christmas decorations and everyone's just having a drink.
All your family are inside, even your creepy uncle that's really
Even your
horrible to
creepy
you.
uncle who you hate. Yeah. Um,
Calls
I
you a
just
little jerk. In your house,
get
Ben.
out of here, you nosy little pervert, or I'm gonna slap you silly. Someone pointed out something the other day about Home Alone. They were like, when everyone's eating pizza and it all kicks off at the
Yeah.
start. Do you remember what gets spilled? Milk.
Coca-Cola.
Everyone's
Milk.
drinking milk in that with their pizza. A
This was
lovely.
prime got milk advert time though,
Yeah,
right?
it is. Everyone wanted strong bones. So yeah, you've obviously
If
seen.
only Harry and Marv must have had loads of milk because their bones are not shattered.
I thought you said Harry and Mark. I don't know
Harry
anything
and
about
Mark.
Harry. Um, so obviously Krampus is a what folklore thing, German folklore,
He's like mean Santa, basically, isn't he?
like mean Santa. Yeah, he's like
But is he associated
Anthropomorphic.
with Santa? Like, do they have some sort of deal that he comes to see people that don't love Christmas enough?
Yeah, it seems a bit harsh, doesn't it? Well, so here we go. Krampus, a horned anthropomorphic figure who would accompany Saint Nicholas on visits to children during the night of 5th of December. Santa's doing overtime. Immediately before the feast of Saint Nicholas on the 6th of December. In tradition, Saint Nicholas, Santa, rewards well-behaved children with small gifts, while Krampus punishes badly behaved ones with
A
birch
beating
rods.
stick. Yeah.
Beating stick. Yeah, that's it. With birch rods. Excuse me, I've asked for a Nintendo DS for Christmas.
Unfortunately, you have been bad beaten.
Unfortunately, you've been bad, and I'm gonna batter yous.
Yeah,
And
it just comes out, coshes him.
Santa's fine with this. Santa's just like, well,
You're on the naughty list,
you're on the bloody
unfortunately.
naughty list.
Like that kid whose video is circa, yes, again, he's probably in his 20s by now, but it's like, punch his beard off, that kid.
That kid, he
Yeah.
does deserve a birch rod straight
Yeah,
across the back of the legs.
Krampus comes back in. Birch rods him.
Yeah, but there's various depictions.
Krampus's music comes on.
Oh, that's gotta be Krampus. So there's
Oh,
various
breaks that kid in
depictions of
half.
him. Some just looks like a fella with horns, like a bloke with a beard and horns.
Like sort
Other
of
things,
Santa fusion with the devil.
yeah, and other things, he just looks like straight up demon, like complete horrible hunched over hooves, tail, horns, big licky tongue, the lot. There's a there's a Krampus greetings card that I'm looking at right here, and it looks like he's putting a little kid in a basket, just shoving him in.
It's probably going to rod him in there, isn't he? He's going to birch rod him.
Jesus. What did you get?
Stay in this basket so I get a proper purchase as I'm smashing you.
So you can't get away. So you can't get away because little kids, like I imagine,
They'd
I
roll
imagine
under a
Krampus.
sofa or something, wouldn't he? So you
Krampus is
can
big and
smash
lumbering.
him.
I
Yeah.
imagine he turns like a cruise ship. So it'd be like, oh.
Yeah. Whereas he put in a basket, he'd be like,
Have your birch rodded. That kid's gonna go back to school. What'd you get for Christmas then, mate?
birch rod in,
I
sorry.
got birch rodded. Way got birch rodded. Well belted. Um. So yeah, I think yeah, Krampus. I've always thought yeah, it's evil Santa. He birch rods kids. Don't necessarily kill them. He hasn't necessarily got like an army of Christmas themed minions,
Yeah. Like toys,
elves,
but bad. Like
like
ones
toys
that
but
don't
bad,
pass European Union safety standards.
like the gingerbread man from Shrek, the one that comes alive.
Yeah.
Not
Or
my
horrible
buttons.
Teddy that reminded me of those werebears that you used to be able to get.
Oh yeah, it was very werebear like, and also the like, what was it like a fairy feathered thing? What was
Yeah,
that?
like through the sort of lens of Chucky.
Yeah, that was like the creepy doll from Resident Evil Village a little bit.
It is.
Um,
It's quite a lot like that actually.
Tons like that, isn't it?
Resident
Yeah.
Resident Evil Village, that film that's already been catching heat for using that technique known as copying with the Army of Frankenstein
Oh
stuff
yeah, of
from the.
course. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
don't
very
mention that.
similar.
Don't point out to other filmmakers that there's a very similar looking thing.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do it. Um, so yeah, you've obviously seen this before, and I guess this has like got some pretty heavy hitters in it, especially like with someone like Tony Collette, although this was pre Hereditary. And I guess you're kind
Yeah.
of playing a similar sort of role, which is
I mean,
like,
already a huge
oh no,
actor,
no, of
right?
course, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I kind of mean in the horror sphere, um, because obviously that was the
But then
big
lots of
draw.
other characters, like big comedy stars, right? Obviously
Adam
Adam
Scott,
Scott
yeah, is it
from
David?
Step Brothers, from
Yeah, David Kushner,
Parks
I
and Rec,
think is in.
obviously.
I'm assuming that's how you say his name, but he's in things like Anchorman and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think Aunt Dorothy, Conchata Ferrell,
Aunt
she's in loads of like
Dorothy is
comedy films,
is
right?
she from is she Two and a Half Men? Something like that? She's like from a big comedy
Yeah,
series, right?
I think you're right.
Yeah, she's from a
Yeah,
huge big comedy series. And the other sister is Fargo. Not the film, the series.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, Fargo. Linda. So Alison Tolman. Yeah, yeah. So Fargo, and I think she was also in. Let me just double check that I haven't got this incorrect. I might have got this incorrect, so forget that. But yeah, she was definitely in Fargo. She was like the lead in the first series, wasn't she?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, a really good like heavy hitting cast, and I kind of like it's almost like a single location sort of thing as
yeah,
well. And it's pretty much like Justice House, cut off from power. Obviously the weather's terrible as well. There is generally something kind of very isolating about that, despite the fact you're in like a neighborhood. There are other people literally across the road. But I feel like it does feel like that, doesn't it? You know, when there's like a power outage in your area or whatever, it is weird. It does feel like kind of very isolating. Like I
yeah.
don't know,
It is.
when it's a power outage, someone usually comes and knocks on your door and says, "You
Sure,
lost
power
power as
off.
well." And I don't know why. Something is a bit creepy about it. Like the fact that your power's off and then suddenly someone knocks on the door, always kind of freaks me out a little bit. We had it just a
Of
couple of
course, they
weeks
have
ago,
to
didn't
knock,
we?
can't ring the bell.
Can't ring the bell.
No
Exactly. They
power,
had
is
to
there?
knock really slowly as well. Terrifying. Um. So yeah, it is an effective sort of setup, I guess.
Yeah, this is a film that's really grown on me over the years. I think I watched it and you heard it in one of the reviews that you read. I think I went into Krampus back in 2015, when I was but a boy, Ben. Just but a boy
Oh,
of
butter boy. I thought you said I was a butter boy. Like,
yeah, when I was but a Douglas from Love Hack, no, it wasn't him. Um, when I was but a boy of
yeah.
what, 32 years old.
Wow.
The 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 sort of premise, I think, and the hype around it was basically right. This has got the madcap antics of this is a Gremlins. I
This
think
is a
I went
Gremlins,
in
yeah.
there thinking I was expecting a Gremlins, and it's not. It's not that. It's not that at all. And maybe I left a bit Andy Warm from that one. Like I
Andy
wasn't
Warm.
quite with it on board, but I think with each successive watching of Krampus year on year, I think I've come to appreciate it more. It's got that familiarity about it now,
Yeah.
and you know, more and more, Ben, as you stop to think about it and the important messages this film has about Christmas time, um, all actually like lots of it encompassed in that really well put together first scene that we have here, the musical number that's set to like it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Oh yeah.
Um, in
Eh,
the slow motion people fighting in the
It's kind of
sails.
it's kind of crazy because it made me think, oh yeah, that's kind of like Thanksgiving did very similar, didn't it? I don't know, it's kind of
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, a Black Friday sale or something similar to that. And of course, Jingle All the Way had done it as well. But I completely forgot that this is how the film opened. But yeah, some interesting messages throughout. It's kind of like without really saying it, even though someone does mention Democrats, it is kind of like a Republican family, a Republican side of the family, and a Democrat side of the family
yeah,
come together at Christmas, and despite hating each other, they have to band together to fight this common evil. And again, the Krampus and all of his minion stuff, like it's all practical effects as well. Not all of it,
yeah.
obviously. There are little gingerbread CGI men, but I think it was is it Weta Workshop?
I think it was right.
Weta. They did a lot of the effects. And you know, the Krampus effect is is really great. And despite the fact that when you get a real good look at it, you just think it almost looks like a sort of Jim Henson sort of big lumbering,
Jim
those
Henson
big lumber,
Gandalf.
a big Gandalf or a big what are they called from the Dark Crystal, the evil ones, the
Oh,
Skeksis.
Skeksis. But he's got
What
the soft
certain
round face of the old Gelfling.
soft round face of an old girl. Yeah, yeah, it's true. But yeah, it is great, and I kind of forget like how much because it is almost like a monster squad of creatures. You forget like how many are actually included, and
Yeah.
that they really come out at such a quick firing pace as well. Like here's a blade Jack in the Box
Who's your
thing.
favorite one? Big horrible Jack in the Box of the Predator mouth or horrible robot?
Jack in the Box with the Predator mouth. I think is
No,
great.
horrible stabby robot. Big rusty knife
Big
hand.
old stabby robot. I like the Jack in the Box one because I like everyone's reaction to seeing his face. Like he just opens his mouth and everyone just goes, "Oh
Kinnell.
my god!" Like literally cannot believe that
I
something
like
like that
those
would
gingerbread
exist.
men as well. They're quite gremlin-y, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, there we go. I say there we go, like we're gonna end the end the
And
thing
there
there.
we go. That
I go,
is
there we go, but now we begin. So obviously
yeah,
it starts, as you mentioned, it's 3 days before Christmas. This is similar to Home Alone as well, because um a kid who perhaps feels a little bit of an outsider within his own family, um, does something, essentially like defends himself, but then gets like blamed. So it's quite a dysfunctional family, but this boy is obviously very frustrated with everything to do with his family. His parents are Tom and Sarah, sister Beth. So this is Max, the main character, and then Tom's mum is Omi, and she's German, right?
yeah, German, but does speak English,
Does
but
speak
not
English, but
always.
chooses not to. And I think, let's
Understands
respect her for
understands
that.
perfectly, and
Understands,
everyone seems to understand her as well.
yeah. But Max is probably the one who kind of like speaks it as well, and he's the only one who like bridges the gap, I guess, between them and the rest of the family. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so they're all getting together for Christmas. I'm not sure if it's ever clear whether grandma lives with them all the time or whether she's just over for Christmas.
Yeah.
And they get back from and they've done, I guess, the traditional family thing at Christmas, and I think they have a portrait done, like a family photograph that they put up on the wall,
Yeah.
and it's clear that they have this, but they're not happy like they used to be.
Yeah.
Max is in trouble for getting in a fight with Joseph of Arimathea. Um, Not the actual one, just a boy playing him. Um,
Yeah.
and drop kicking him into the manger.
Fair enough.
Um, oh, it's a shame we didn't get to see that in the slow motion replay.
Yeah.
Um, we just see him like slow motion shoving some fake snow into his face while he's on
Yeah.
top of him. Um, and all of the and they're all stressed. They're not having time to keep up with any of their Christmas traditions, like actually spend time together as a family, because Tom has promised he still has to take work calls over the holiday, and he has to go and do
Yeah.
one of those. And then the rest of the family are all coming over for Christmas, which includes
Mm-hmm.
the side of the family. And it, like you said, it is like a not only a political leaning thing, but it is a class thing in the sense that they have a family, but then their sister, Tony Collette's sister, and her husband, who is brash and loud, and they have several children. They have what, four kids? So
Yeah. Little
are they
baby to
twins
forget
or
about.
just near an age?
Say again. Oh, I don't know.
Uh,
Maybe, might be twins. Um,
so two girls that are near an age, younger boy, and then a baby.
and yeah, and they forget about the baby pretty much completely. So Howie Jr., I think, is the younger boy. Stevie and Jordan are the girls who I think someone makes a point later that their dad wishes they were boys.
Yeah,
Um, and then the baby Chrissy, who like they even like leave out in the car at one point. Oh yeah, the bulldog Rosie, and then well, officially uninvited, but obviously Linda invited her Aunt Dorothy,
Aunt
who
Dorothy's like the problematic
the
auntie who
problematic auntie, and I think everyone's got a family member like this who like never happy, has always got something negative to
negative to
say
say, yeah,
about
slagging
something.
you
You
off.
walk in like walk into the nicest Christmas scene you've ever seen, and she's like, "Oh, it's like who does she say? It's like someone threw up in here, or
It's pretty like Warsaw illuminations in here, but he's switching off.
exactly." She's just, and I guess she loves a tipple as well. Described here as cantankerous.
Yeah,
Probably about
cantankerous
right.
is a nice way of putting it. Yeah.
Cantankerous is correct. And obviously there are tensions between, but it's good because I feel like we get a lot of tensions between characters, but then we also see like a softer side to their relationship, and they clearly don't spend tons of time with each other. And I think even Aunt Dorothy says, at least Linda comes in and checks that I'm not dead, like every now and again, but obviously I never see you. Um,
Oh,
so
it's
yeah,
always the way, isn't it? When you've got relatives that you don't see very often, and
yeah,
then the first 10 minutes of you eventually going to visit them is them talking about why you don't visit that often,
yeah,
and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, well,
yeah,
I didn't come and see you within a week of last time, so now the opening gambit of us meeting each other would be me getting a bollocking about not coming that often, so I'm gonna put it off longer. Thanks.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think with something like that, it's always great when you live just far enough away for it to be, no one wants you to go out your way to go and visit. I mean, you've got it right moving to Scotland there, haven't you, Andy?
Yes, that's how I did it.
That's how you did it.
You're right.
Um,
Yeah, get
but
invited to stuff.
I'm in
I
Scotland.
do
Yeah,
live
yeah.
really
But don't
far
worry if
away.
you can't come because Scotland's a long way. Yeah, it's too far, way too far. Max obviously still believes in Santa. He writes Santa a letter, and this letter kind of is like, I wish for things to kind of be okay between my mum and dad because I think I need
Heartbreaking letter. Do you feel, Ben, if you were in
heartbreaking
this
letter.
situation,
Yeah,
that having that letter read out loud would be enough to fix your problems? I think you'd all sit down and be like, "He's right. Let's."
right. But what do you know what annoys me about this? When Stevie or one of the girls reads out this letter when she gets hold of it, reads it out in front of the thing, and while the boy is trying to grab the letter back, his sister Beth
Yeah,
is like stopping him. And I'm like, no, 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 don't stop him. Stop her. Stop her
yeah.
from reading it out. No, don't read that out because it's humiliating for everyone involved. Also, private letter, Santa's eyes only, for God's
I
sake.
mean, also, like one of these things. Yes, Santa's eyes only, but maybe one of the adults in the room say, "Oi,"
Yeah, that's
rather than
true.
right. It feels like they're in a
Exactly.
court case where the parents are like, "I'll allow it. He's going somewhere with this. She's
He's
going
gone
somewhere
somewhere
with
with
this."
this. Ah, it's out of order. And obviously, then Max kicks off in a similar way to Home Alone, where Kevin's pushed to his breaking point by Buzz putting the little lights behind his ears. Is that number two? Putting the little lights behind his ear, pushing him to breaking point. All he does is turn around and push Buzz, and everyone falls down. The Christmas tree, the wooden cut out of a Christmas tree, falls and hits a woman who's playing piano on the head, and she falls like 10 feet off the stage. I think it's dangerous to be on the edge of the stage. He gets bloody blamed. They both have to do apologies. I feel like it's the same for bloody Max here. He's getting shitty end of the stick, and he's still being made to apologize essentially
Yeah,
out of
and
order.
he loses it, and he does a classic. I hate you. I wish we all got attacked by horrible Krampus.
I hate you. Oh, I mean, again, I won't do too many more Home Alone examples, but it is I
It's
made
very
my
Home Alone
family
coded, though, isn't it?
disappear. Yeah, yeah, it's very much like he goes, I wish all my family were gone. Well, is that what he
I
says?
wish you all got slept off and turned into snowmen.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, he pretty much yells, "I hate my family," and Christmas
And then he
sucks.
tears up the letter to Santa Claus and throws it away right out the window,
Yeah.
sealing
Um,
his fate. And then, can I just point out to
Swept
you,
up
Ben?
into the sky.
You just mentioned the wish
Yeah.
to the family, which I take it that Krampus is
It's not in the letter.
summoned
It's
by
not in the
this.
letter, though, is it?
Yeah, I guess it's the symbolic destruction of the letter
Right.
and the death of the hope for Christmas that he throws away,
Oh. But it
and the
doesn't seem
wish.
he's not a bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, why is because it feels like his actions are causing this to happen. Like the other kids need to be. I suppose they are punished as well. That's true.
Um, I mean, the other thing I would say, Ben, if we're talking about his wish being the thing that summons this, you know what I don't recall him wishing for?
Go on.
And I wish the FedEx man would be frozen to death in his van. What's
Yeah.
he
What's the
done?
throat? Unless that was unrelated, unrelated, an
He
unrelated
he
tragedy.
separately in a DVD extra has done a wish about
Also,
Bloody Eight Christmas.
also, like to get frozen like that, you got to be stuck in that position for a little while. So, yeah. Do you know what I mean? The realistic thing would you just be like passed out, hunched
Or
over
you'd
for.
be like, yeah, or you'd be like, really, if it was instant freeze, you'd be a bit like surprised, like
Excuse me, instant freeze. But FedEx
straight
man.
away. All you've got time to do is get your hands up.
Or are we supposed to believe that like Krampus is just fucking up the whole neighborhood for whatever reason? Just because
Most of them, most of them are away though, right? Because I think when
there
the
we go.
blizzard blows in, and it's like, oh, call the Turners, and he goes, oh no, the Turners are in Hawaii.
This is Home Alone. This is Home Alone all over again.
Yeah,
Everyone's gone away on holiday. The phone lines are down. Black yada yada yada. We get it. We get it. I know you got to write it out somehow, but still.
yeah. So everyone's away apart from the FedEx man who's bringing a thing in this last delivery.
He goes
And on the
bloody
way out, he
freezing out
makes a
here.
wish about Christmas and he gets frozen.
Yeah. So severe blizzard like engulfs the town. Power outage. So we get a shot. Um, of like all the power going out with their house being the last one. And then Beth has like been chatting to her boyfriend and she's like, "You haven't texted me back in what was it, 3 hours, did she say? I ain't like him. Something's wrong. I should be able to go and check if he's all right. 'Cause
Gonna
he
go round and have a
lives in
blast
walking
on that
distance. I
Christmas
think.
bong he's got that he was
Oh yeah, the
on
Christmas
Skype with
bong.
earlier.
Aunt Dorothy says like, "Oh, these kids can't handle it these days. I used to wait. Was it 2 years to talk to my boyfriend? He was just staying away, I think. Aunt Dorothy, sorry. Um, so yeah, she goes to try and get to her boyfriend's house, but then pretty much on the journey there, she sees this large silhouette of a creature on the houses. You can see its horns, and it's leaping from one house to the next. This is
A
when she
big
finds
goatman.
finds a delivery truck, and then the creature like leaps down to her. I think it leaves the jack in the box first, doesn't it? The jack in the box is like a
There's a
little
jack in the
Ghostbusters
box
trap.
underneath. Yeah, like a Ghostbusters trap.
Yeah, and it pops out, and then she gets slurped off into the
Slept
night.
off. Is it her that sees the frozen man, the frozen UPS
Yeah,
man?
she
Not
sees the
UPS,
frozen
FedEx.
FedEx man and screams, "Ah!" As you would, terrifying. Um, so what's Krampus doing with these kids then? Because obviously he's not killing anyone. He's just putting them in a basket for later to
I
birch
mean, I'm
stick them.
guessing he's
Bir-
wazzing them all off in that portal to hell.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the portal to hell. Yeah, of course.
He just drops them in there, I guess.
Yeah, but you'd never be the same again, would you? If even if you got rescued, you'd be like, I've been down in hell for like 3 hours. The
Well, I
things
mean,
I've
spoilers
seen.
for the end. Depends what you. It depends what it is. What if she's just in the Christmas house from the end?
Yeah, it's true.
She should be waiting there.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, I was very surprised at this. I thought that the relationship between Beth and Max might be something we explored a little bit more, and maybe they would be
Yeah.
some of the last in there. But Beth is slept off fairly
It felt
early
like,
in the
yeah, because it
film.
felt introducing four kids from the other family. Like one of those other kids is ripe for the picking in terms of
Oh,
like,
he's rancid, isn't he?
yeah. I don't know. He does get taken away eventually, but
He's the only one I thought good riddance.
he's the only one I thought good riddance. See you later, mate. I mean, all of them, really.
Because when they first arrive at the house, I know we've skipped over their terrible family interaction.
Yeah,
He's the worst one. Like the uncle is abrasive. The
he loves
kids,
guns.
the two girls are, they are tough and they pick on him and call him Maxi Pad.
Oh
Um,
yeah, they do. Oh God.
uh, but that kid just doesn't say anything
Yeah.
apart from does big burps and has horrible lips.
Poor bloke. Poor lad.
He's
He
doing it on
does.
purpose. He doesn't naturally live
All
like.
he does is have big burps. Well, maybe he's just a gassy man, gassy boy. Ain't his fault. But yeah.
When Beth says, "Oh, what are you wishing for Christmas?" and it's like video games, dialysis.
Oh yeah,
It's-
dialysis. Sneaky bit of dialysis. Why not? Bloody hell. So yeah, after a little while, obviously Beth doesn't get home, so Tom and Howard, the dads, decide to go out into the night to find her. Um, and well, yeah, they get to her boyfriend's house, and it's in ruins. The chimney's been bloody split open, and there are large goat-like hoof prints around everywhere. Who did you think this could have been? The hoof prints.
Hoof prints.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen obviously on the top of on the things, it's a big goatee character. So one of two choices comes to mind at this point if you're trying to predict the film. It's either Krampus
Yeah.
or the lead singer of Nickelback, Chad Kroger, the Goatman himself.
I mean, it could be. Look at this photograph. I was thinking it could be titular. Well, the paranormal activity from Paranormal Activity.
Oh, of
Oh,
course, Toby.
Toby the three-toed boy.
Toby the three-tied big bald man, as he comes at the end.
Toby.
He's just a big. He's one of the Jesuses from.
He's one of the
He's
Jesuses.
one of the Jesuses from what's it called? Prometheus, isn't he? That's Toby.
Yeah. The Jesuses. We have a lovely bit of black goo. Yeah, there we go.
They're
Um,
all together at last. So it could have been one of those three.
yeah.
We quickly eliminate Chad Kroger from the equation because when they are attacked out in the snow, and when Beth is attacked, he doesn't state that he was tired of living like a blind man and was sick of sight without a sense of feeling. He just slaps her off after giving her a little Jack in the Box present.
Are you saying that Krampus looks a bit like Jack Kroger? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that Chad Kroger, especially in that song, has quite a goatee beard.
He's quite goat-like. He is quite
Yeah,
goat-like,
he's the
and he's
goatman.
goat-like in the old the video for the Spider-Man song "Hero."
Yeah, which you must not
Henderson.
say is a Nickelback song.
No,
Chad
I know.
Kroger
I
song.
didn't say that, did I? Did I say that?
I mean, I'm just reminding everyone listening.
Chad Kroger of Nickelback and Josie Scott of Saliva
Together at last
together at last, finally singing about Spider-Man.
to teach people about Christmas or sing about Spider-Man.
Or sing about being a hero in New York. In New York. Um,
But it's not him, as we've established. It is
no,
Krampus.
it's
And
Krampus.
now, a little bit later in the film, what do we see? What attacks?
No, it's like an unseen monster in the snow that tries to get Howard, doesn't it? And Tom saves him, which I think Howard's like, "You've earned my respect."
Yeah. Sometimes when you've got that, when you've got a problematic family member who doesn't respect you because he doesn't think you're manly enough,
Save his life.
take our advice, everyone. Just save their life, and then they'll be all right with you.
Yeah, they'll be fine. That's because that's it. It's that masculinity that needs to be shown. Because he says something like, "I thought you were a douchebag, but you saved my life." So,
I thought you were a
but
douchebag, but then you shot an under snow monster
yeah,
and applied first aid to my bitten up leg.
yeah. Thank you so much. I am really, really grateful for
I'll be
that.
slightly less rude to
I'll be
you
slightly
from
less
now
rude to
on.
you. Yeah, his legs screwed, so
Poorly, yeah, he has to have a sit down when he gets in, doesn't he?
yeah. So I'll sit down and a bandage when he gets in, and a medi pack probably, and a green
Yeah,
herb.
bit of a first
Um,
aid spray.
so they
Is this the point where Grandma does an animated flashback for us to tell us
what's
about Krampus?
grandma? What happened with grandma? Suddenly just getting all bad tempered. Someone says, don't leave that fire burning for too long. She was like, oh fuck off. And then she does something like that. She goes, oh swivel, will you? But, you know,
Yeah. A minute ago, you were making hot chocolate and saying hot chocolate makes everything better.
a minute ago you were like the nicest, lovely old lady, and now bad tempered old. You're out doing Aunt Dorothy for cantankerous.
Listen, right? Years ago, when I was a refugee from some unknown war, which doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of timelines,
Yep.
I I gave up on Christmas because a load of animated people stole the last loaf of bread that the UN brought. They
Wait,
didn't even
were they
take it; they just
animated
ripped
or
it in
was
half
that
and
just...
threw it on the floor.
Oh yeah. So I guess it's when she starts properly talking about Krampus, I guess, that she does that. At this
And she does
point,
it in
she's
English, and Aunt Dorothy is like, "I knew it."
I bloody knew it. So around about now, I think they board up the house, board up the windows, and Howard like stands guard while everyone goes to sleep. But then Howard, you had one job, Howard, falls asleep as well. And this is where his son, Howie Jr., sees a large, what is quite clearly CGI gingerbread man hanging from a chain down the chimney.
They do look soft and delicious, though,
They
don't
do
they?
look soft and delicious, yes, I agree, but I don't think I'd ever eat anything that was just hanging from a chain somewhere. I feel like I'd automatically think something was up. But he
Well,
takes
you're
a,
not mute idiot boy,
yeah, that's
Howie
true.
Jr.
Well, I can be. I can play that role quite well. So he takes a bite, it comes to life, screams, and drags him up the chimney. Well,
Doesn't seem to
something
mind
drags
though.
him
It
up the
does a
chimney.
scream, but then goes, "Ah, it's just a laugh in it," and then just hooks him.
Hooks him. It's just a laugh. Um, and obviously they try and save him. Everyone wakes up trying to save him from getting slurped up the chimney, but too late.
He
Um,
gets proper Cenobited up, doesn't he, with a spiky chain?
he gets Cenobited right up, yeah, and Howard's all guilty. He's like, I fell asleep. I should have been keeping watch. Yeah, you should. If you
Yeah,
felt yourself getting tired, go and ask someone else to take over. All right?
yeah. Stand up for a bit. Well, I can't. If he has his leg, doesn't he? So he has to stay sat down.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Um. So, what happens next after that? So obviously, this is when Omi, the old lady, she
Oh,
does
is
her
this when
old.
she tells the
This is when she tells the
story?
story. She does her own exposition dump of what is hunting them. Krampus, an ancient demon, punishes those who have lost the Christmas spirit. When she was a child, her family and community lost their spirit because of the hardships of the war in Europe. That's it. Yeah. I think they're trying to say. I mean, war in Europe must be World War Two, but yeah,
She just aged exceptionally well.
time wise doesn't quite make sense, does it? She lost hope. She wished for her parents to be taken away, summoning Krampus. Him and his helpers dragged everyone except her to hell because they left her behind as a warning. As a that they left behind a little bell-shaped bauble
That
with
said love Krampus, and they
love
gave her
from
and he gave her a
Krampus.
little wink because he was taking. He was like,
See you later.
Like Toadfish Rebecca he was. He came around the corner and was like, "Hey,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah." So he took them all off. Um, do you blame them for losing the Christmas spirit, Ben,
I
during the war
mean,
in Europe?
oh well, yeah, exactly. It feels a bit out of order. It feels a bit like kicking someone while they're down, doesn't it? Oh, I've lost the Christmas spirit. It feels like, is that the
Why you take the bloody Hitlers away, Krampus? They ain't got no
yeah.
Christmas spirit.
What you could do is take. I'm pretty sure Hitler and all the other
All
Nazis
those
or
lads.
anyone else who are the oppressors. Maybe take them away because I guarantee you they ain't got any Christmas spirit. I
Or maybe
guarantee you.
they've actually got loads of hope for Christmas. They're having their Christmas party, aren't they? They say "Merry Christmas, everybody,"
And and
and that's
Krampus
what
has looked
Krampus cares
over.
about.
Krampus looked over and he's gone fair shout, and he's a Nazi sympathizer, which is why he's definitely the
A
villain of
bad
the
one.
piece. Definitely the villain of the piece. Um.
Um,
So yeah, everyone except her got dragged to hell. You'd be like, oh, take me with you, will you? Don't leave me here on
give
my
it.
own.
Don't bother. Come on.
Boring. Um.
I tell you
um
what, as well. Like in many ways, this also puts Max's outburst in perspective. So he has lost his Christmas spirit because he's got done, and his cousin has embarrassed him.
yeah. I mean,
Grandma's putting some shade on him here and saying,
first,
"Oh yeah, I lost my Christmas spirit once actually. In the same, I incurred the same hellish wrath of you do, but I lost my Christmas
it
spirit
isn't fair.
because I was in a war and I was starving. Literally, I'd just been
Someone
out
had
in
the
the
last loaf
street
of bread.
and some CGI people, villagers, took the last loaf of bread from the UN, and then I went back, and my parents, in an argument between themselves because they were starving, I might add."
Lost their
In
Christmas.
fairness, lost their rag, took my Santa off me and ripped it and threw it in a fire. So I don't know why they did that.
It's all the
Like,
same.
you can shut up and
Do
all.
you know
Give me
what?
that.
Do you know what? In Krampus's bloody eyes, it's all the same. He looks at it all and he goes, "Lost your Christmas spirit? I don't care if it's because your family were murdered or there's a war or if you're just having a bit of a bad time, getting a little bit, not even bullied, but kind of bullied. I don't care. All right. Basically, you've lost your Christmas spirit through no fault of your own, and I'm gonna make it worse."
The only way that I will accept having Christmas spirit is if you follow a religion where Christmas isn't a thing. Then that's all right.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. That's
So
fine
like
because
he isn't going around, all
he's
of
not
the Hindu or Muslim nations of the world going, "What's that?
he's not xenophobic.
No,
This guy.
No Christmas spirit. Let me just check. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah,
You've got a different holy text. You're not in my
yeah.
jurisdiction."
All good. Um, so obviously Howie, I don't want to give him a nickname. Howard. He he automatically goes horse shit. And like clearly he knows something's up, but he's pretty much says fairy tale supernatural horse shit, which I think you probably
Yeah.
would at this stage. There's
You
not you've
turn
not
to
really
Howard,
seen it.
wouldn't you? And you say, "Listen, mate, ain't just a river in Egypt.
Mm,
Better get out of it."
yeah. And then pretty much the house just like gets overrun by these menacing
Yeah, they
toidies.
do a little lovely classic horror trope of, "Oh, should we separate?" I think the girls go upstairs, don't they? Because one of them desperate for
Yeah.
a slash, doesn't want to go on her own.
No.
So they go upstairs, and then they're tempted up into the attic by what sounds like Beth.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're good at doing voice mimicry as well, is that right?
Yeah, and they go, "I'm in the attic. I'm
Why
not
do they
horrible
need to do
Dolly.
that?
I'm not horrible Dolly. Come up." And that'd make you suspicious, wouldn't it? But not these girls. They go straight up.
Yeah, they go straight up, and then what attacks first?
We don't see them get got, do we? We just hear a commotion, and then the parents, the two sisters, run upstairs. I know all of them and Tom. They run upstairs to see what's going on, and they see one of the girls,
Hmm.
Boots, being swallowed up by the big horrible
Yeah,
predator Jack in the Box,
this is very much like taking a Deborah,
taking a
Deborah
Deborah
Logan.
Logan,
I nearly said, don't you?
taking
Taking
a
a
Deborah Meaden.
yeah, taking a Deborah Meaden. One of the bloody dragons. She rejects. She don't want to invest in this business, so she's just gonna eat you, swallow you down. It felt a bit like that. But again, like when I see this, if a kid's getting swallowed, I think dead,
Yeah,
eaten, not just oh they've just gone down to hell. I think dead,
even in
swallowed.
that
Look at all the
Jack in the
teeth.
Box, lovely silken body.
Lovely. That's a weird. I've never thought of that before, but you're right. A lovely
Just
silken,
silken springs.
a silken like Art the Clown body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, what else do we get? We get the
Well,
teddy
they get up
bear.
there and then they have a big. So basically, the three adults that are up there, they notice that the second of the cousins is just she's just knocked out for a minute. Stevie, right, is just there,
Yeah.
passed out on the floor. Um, and they try to go after them. So in attempting to stop the Jack in the Box from escaping, so it starts trying to make for like the air vents.
Yeah.
They try to stop, but like, each of them get attacked
Hmm.
by a different one of Krampus's toys. So there's a big horrible werebear that bites down on
Yeah.
who does it? But which sister does it attack? It's not
Yeah.
Tony Collette, is it? It's
It's the other one, I think. Linda.
Linda. So so Linda is attacked by a big horrible werebear. Tom, big horrible rusty robot, comes out and starts stabbing him in the back. And he goes, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me!"
Yeah, you gotta be bloody kidding me.
And then we get an angel that comes out, and yeah, it's quite thematic because we got so Sarah had like almost a little bit of a revelation when it turns out that she had kept their mom's angel. Her and
Yeah.
Alison sort of have a bit of a moment earlier on where they're like, "Oh,
Oh
you
yeah.
kept mom's angel," and it shows that they, despite the differences that have grown between them,
Yeah, it's
there
quite
is that
nice.
spark of like there is
Yeah.
a nice. They do love each other. They're not, there's quite a lot of contempt between them because of the differences and the disagreements as they have in their lives.
Yeah.
But at their heart, their family do all still love each other.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
But
that
she's
thing.
attacked by a horrible angel that tries to strangle her with fairy lights like the dog in Gremlins.
An horrible like angel with like actual feathery wings as well. Like
Yeah.
very, very
And a big
creepy.
horrible tongue that she like sticks her in
Yeah.
her ear.
Obviously the gingerbread man as well with his what weapon of choice?
Oh, the gingerbread men. And again, this is I think where the Gremlins parallels come in because Howard and Rosie the dog fight gingerbread men
Yeah.
in the kitchen, gingerbread men with a nail gun.
Yeah. Has he got like a what else has he got? He's got something else. But he fights them with flamethrower? Well no, what does he use?
He has like a shotgun and he shoots like for some reason, but I guess it's because they have no electric lights. They've got like a miner's oil lantern that they've just put on the kitchen counter, put it on the kitchen
Yeah,
island,
totally.
and he shoots it with a shotgun and explodes it.
Yeah.
Um, I like the scene with the gingerbread men. It's funny,
Yeah, yeah,
and
definitely.
they do look like
Yeah,
lovely soft
yeah.
gingerbread that you just love a big bite of.
Yeah, you'd bite their head clean off, wouldn't you? So they managed to fend off the toys and the gingerbread men, but then Krampus's dark elves leap in through the window
Stomp the
and
fire out
stomp the fire out, and they take
and
they,
tax the baby,
and they what?
and they tax the baby.
Did they take the baby? Is that what they did?
Yeah, they give us. Oh, they get baby and Howard, so they get this
Yeah,
big scene where the family. I
and
mean,
Dorothy. Oh yeah,
yeah,
so Dorothy gets a good bit where she like she shotguns a few of them, shotguns the fairy, and then I think Tom says to her, "Finish it."
finish it. And you think this could be a turning point in the film where they win? It's been a real scene where the family have sort of come
Yeah,
together. They put their differences aside. I genuinely thought they were going to save the other girl from the tummy
yeah,
of the Jack in the Box here, and they'll maybe start to make some kind of Christmas comeback. But
yeah.
this is not that type of film.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. It was a shame, but she got like Aunt Dorothy got like slurped off through the window as well, didn't she? Or
Yeah,
like,
Aunt Dorothy, Howard, and the baby all get but it feels like the film suddenly realizes, shit, there's only 20 minutes left.
pretty much, yeah. Um, and when all the dark elves come in, this kind of reminded me a bit of like I don't know Labyrinth, like the sort of
Yeah,
goblins from Labyrinth, and they all
sort
gather
of,
around,
they've got
especially
these,
like
they've
the
got these porcelain mask faces,
porcelain
right?
masks, especially since they stole a baby as well. You know that kind of is a thing, but it looks like they're ready to attack and kill whoever, but then they hear the sound of, I guess it's Krampus, and it going
Jingly bells. Yeah.
jingly bells, and that's when they take everybody. Um, then for like the final sort of act of the film, Tom like takes the rest of the family. They go to like this abandoned snow plow,
Oh,
which I think
Omi. old grandma,
There
she
you
stays
go.
behind, and it's the scene behind you, right? So
Yeah.
she basically buys them some time. Krampus comes down the chimney.
Yeah. How does he fit down that chimney? He wouldn't, would he?
He cracks it, doesn't he? The chimney, like the chimney set cracks as he
Yeah,
comes
he's got
down.
no
Also
respect.
magic.
What did you believe when you were a kid? Did you believe that Santa came down the chimney, or did you believe that he had a magic key to get into every house?
Um, I'm not sure I recall.
Don't don't
I
act like
think
you didn't.
we didn't have a chimney at a house, so it must have been the magic key. But I don't know which Santa media this is. But I
Yeah.
feel like I'm certainly of an era where there was a um where Santa could change his form. Like, he could turn into a
He's an
magic
animorph.
dust, like a Christmas version of Alex Mack. Except he didn't turn into a puddle, he turns into like a twinkly dust. And then could come in through the letterbox, through the
Yeah, yeah,
window,
yeah.
through whatever he wanted. I felt like he could
He's like
terminate
Tombs.
it. Yeah, he's like he's Eugene Victor Toombs or the T-1000. Sometimes you'll walk over a checkerboard floor in your house, just Santa.
Coming down a chimney.
Yeah.
For God's sake. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
terrifying.
so
Yeah, so
basically, what did you think, Ben, when you were thinking of Santa?
well, we didn't really have a chimney, so I think I was always told he had a bloody magic key, didn't he? He'd been down our Timpsons and he got
You just got a blank key.
he got a skeleton key cat while he waited while he was getting his shoes
Did you
rehealed.
genuinely believe when you were a kid that skeleton keys, like, basically get the keys to the city from the mayor and you could open any door in
Open
the
any door,
town?
mate. I'll go anywhere. I'll go anywhere I want. So what happens? He emerges from the fireplace, and what happens to Omi? I can't,
I thought she was going to have like a heroic standoff moment here where she like blows up the house or something, but
yeah,
she
but she,
doesn't. He just opens a sack of toys and all the toys come out and get her.
yeah. Oh, do you reckon he recognised her?
Yeah.
You again? I've already left you alive once. I cannot leave you alive again.
She could point out, I didn't lose my Christmas spirit, Santa.
Yeah, I go Krampus, mate. Like, be honest. Like, there's some inconsistencies here, and I
In
think
your
you
hand.
need to.
And
I think
also,
you need to
what hope have I
apologise.
got to have of retaining Christmas spirit when Christmas always reminds me of time that everyone I know and loved got abducted to hell?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you'd never get your Christmas spirit back. So if in theory, she should be punished every year for not having Christmas spirit, even though the Christmas spirit left her because of the events of the first time.
Yeah. Unless she has to really fake it and he doesn't care about that. As long as you pretend to have a good Christmas spirit,
I bloody
doesn't
love
care if you really mean it or
Christmas.
not. Not like it's like smiling in your school picture.
I'll tell you what, Krampus is going to come and get me because I'm not very good at pretending to be happy at Christmas time. Watching TV and everyone goes, "Oh, should we watch the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special?" And I go, "What? I'd rather."
Can I go and sit on my own and play my new Assassin's Creed game, please?
That's not a Christmas spirit, Krampus. And at
No,
Christmas,
don't tell Krampus. I'll watch Kevin and Stacey,
I'll watch
please.
Gavin and Stacey and pretend to enjoy it, and I can't wait for the Mrs. Brown's Boys special as well afterwards.
What's that? It's the King on. Can't wait to see what
What
he's
a
got
time
to
to be
say.
alive. The King's on. Can't wait to hear what he's got to say. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Can't wait to see what relatable things that old billionaire has to say.
Krampus, please don't split my chimney. Uh,
Oh,
so,
look, I tell you what, Krampus, cut you a deal. If I don't have to watch The King
yep.
and I don't have to watch Gavin and Stacey, I will back to back both the Weakest Link Christmas special and
Yeah.
the Strictly special as well.
Oh.
Because you never know who's going to be on
See,
that.
you had me with the weakest link one because it's Ramesh Ranganathan who
It
presents it.
is Ramesh, isn't it? It's very
It's far
funny.
more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Far more enjoyable. But strictly,
It
uh,
go it goes on a bit, but I can appreciate the athleticism.
it goes on a bit. Um, so
Craig
outside,
Revel Allwood's gonna have he'd be Krampus stuff. Oh, it's so
Craig Revel
negative,
Horwood.
Craig.
What a twat. Um,
Although I tell you what, I will say it was just I don't want to be Krampus stuff. Mum and Dad are watching it. I was around their house the other day. I think his beard suits him. That's approval from me,
who's got a
Craig.
big beard? Craig Revel Horwood.
Yeah, it's got that you ain't got though, Ben. A great big bushy
A great
beard.
big bushy beard. Bloody hell, I never
Yeah,
expected him.
yeah, suits him.
There we
Um,
go.
that aside,
So yeah, outside, Tom, Sarah, and Linda. This is when they go to the abandoned snowplow and they get attacked under by the snow monster. The snow monster is what? We don't know what it is.
just the snow tremors, I guess.
Just the snow tremors, yeah. And that's when Stevie gets captured by the Dark Elves. That's the other.
Yeah, they basically all get got. So basically, Tom and Sarah both get slept off by the snow tremors.
Mm.
Um, Stevie is captured last and pulled off by the Dark Elves,
Yeah.
and then Krampus turns up and says to
Gives him.
Max, doesn't say anything to him, says, "Is a bloody Christmas bell wrapped in
It
newspaper
says
that
this.
says Krampus."
Arr, hey, you guys.
Yeah,
Here's a Christmas bell wrapped up in your little bit of letter, which goes to show it was all your fault, Max. Nothing to do with me, Krampus. I'm just merely, you know,
I'm just doing a job, following
I'm just doing a
orders,
job here, all right, Max. This is all your fault. All your family slurped off to hell for little to no real reason. I'm
and
sure
that
there's
FedEx man
someone
got
else,
frozen.
and poor Mr. FedEx. There's someone else. I reckon there's someone else in this neighborhood who's worse than you for Christmas spirit. But for some reason, I've singled you out, you knobhead.
And Beth's boyfriend and his family.
Yeah.
All he was doing was having a bong. Who knows?
Well, maybe Krampus is strictly anti-drugs.
Yeah.
He's like, what's that? Legalized marijuana? Absolutely
The
not.
bloody
Not in
devil's
my
lettuce?
name.
Absolutely not. Not in my name.
Not in my name.
Or maybe he's pissed off as well because it's a Santa themed bong. He's like,
Oh yeah.
that is
Yeah, but
absolutely not on.
you don't like Santa, does he? He's the opposite.
I often get
He's the
this
yin
with
to his yang.
I'll often get this with both Krampus and the devil. Surely,
Yeah.
if let's use the devil as this one. If the devil is the bloody opposite to God, right? Why
Yeah.
is he doing his work and punishing all the bad people? Surely you'd like him.
Yeah.
Surely you'd get there to hell, right? And
Yeah.
he'd go, "You do all the things that my enemy God says not to do. So welcome,
Well done.
lads, lads,
Welcome.
lads."
Welcome to this place where you're not going to get like a scolding up poker up your ass for eternity.
In fact, yeah,
It's going to be a
yeah.
right laugh
Have
down here.
some have some porno mags and again all the other
Have
stuff
some
we have
porno
in hell,
mags and have some alcohol and
and have some
watch
deviled eggs
deviled have some deviled eggs down you.
and have some devils on all
Yeah,
devils.
I know what you mean there.
Whereas in heaven, what can you have? Angel delight. Ugh, yuck.
Oh, I'll tell you what though, I like a bit of Angel Delight, but it has to be whipped to the perfect consistency.
You can have some lovely Diavolo pizza in hell.
Oh, I see what you're doing now. Okay, I got you.
Um,
Uh,
basically, what other foods are there in heaven
yeah,
apart from Angel delight?
don't really make. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Ambrosia, Devon custard.
It doesn't make a load of sense. Krampus should really just be like, oh, Santa, he's a
I
square.
like it if you don't. I like it if you've not got Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Um.
Let's go and spoil Christmas together, Max. Let's go and drop kick Joseph into a manger
mm.
together. But no, you're doing Santa's. He's
So
basically the birch rod to Santa's presents,
yeah, exactly.
and he gives him a whipping, doesn't he?
Gives him a whipping. Um. So I think what is Krampus
Max could
doing?
have left it. He could have let it lie. He could have
Yeah,
walked away.
just walked away and wiped your hands of it. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how I'd explain it to the authorities the next day. Oh, they've just been slept off, I guess.
Yeah, it would have been difficult to do it when they say, "Well, it was one of those letters, a wish letter that I did." Oh, this is always happening at Christmas. We got old McAllister in Chicago who's done the same, but yeah, slightly different. But his Krampus has come in the form of Harry and
Harry
Mark.
and Marv,
Oh,
Crumpuses, Harry and
Mark
Mark,
Krampus,
the wet Crumpus.
bloody Krampus. No, I'll tell you what, Uncle Frank is Krampus. If
Yeah.
anything, your dad's paid good money for this trip. Oh, wouldn't want
Look
to spoil
what
your
you
fun.
did, you little jerk.
Wouldn't
What
want to
a
spoil your fun, Mr. Cheapskate.
oh! I tell you what, he would be with that auntie cancelled.
Yeah. If it makes you feel any better, I forgot my reading glasses. Sorry, I'm just gonna put Home Alone to the day I die. Okay. So what happens? Krampus opens like a big old fiery pit. What's he gonna do
Yeah,
with that?
and he's about to wang Stevie in it, and she's going,
That's right.
"No, buddy, don't." Um,
Don't do that.
oh, don't
Um,
bother, mate. Come on,
Max runs up.
and he gives him a big "Hey, asshole."
Yeah. Hey,
Fortunately,
asshole.
he hasn't thought of how he's gonna deal with him afterwards. He's not gonna waz the bell at him like a grenade or anything like that, or
No.
sing Christmas songs to like banish him back to hell. No.
And we get a good close-up look at the effects here of Krampus, and he just does kind of looks a bit like if Santa had watched the Ring videotape
Yeah,
and
he's a
ended
bit.
up 7 days later like, hey,
It's like both selector Santa.
Proper crimbo.
Um,
Uh,
I feel like at this bit, poor old Max, he's ad-libbing here because he tries like
oh
several
yeah,
things. First, he tries confront Krampus, and he's like, "Oi, you're an
yeah,
asshole. Give me my family back." Absolutely not. Captured.
yeah,
Then it's I'm sorry. I just wanted their family to be. He tries the Cindy Lou Who method. He's like, I just wanted my family to be together on
yeah,
Christmas, and he has a little cry. And you think that Krampus has maybe been moved by this, and he touches his little tears from his face,
yeah.
and you think, oh, he's
But
learned
no,
a lesson. Is he gonna let him off? And he doesn't, and he then continues to be ready to throw Stevie into hell. And then Max says, if you must, actually, maybe take me instead. The Charlie Bucket
take me.
giving giving Willy Wonka back the everlasting gobstopper method. And you think then maybe Krampus is gonna go a noble sacrifice. Maybe for that willingness for me to take you instead, I will let you have your family back. But he also doesn't, and then he
No,
just whizzes Stevie into hell, followed by Max.
just don't care, does he? Just um. But what do you think of the way that this film resolves? Because what does it mean, is what I'll say. Because he just wakes up in his bed on Christmas morning, family's alive and well, and basically says, "Oh, what happened was obviously a nightmare." Are we supposed to think the nightmare in itself was Krampus's way of punishing him and making him
No, I think they're in hell
there
forever.
in hell? That's it.
Because what happens is that then Max does get a Christmas present, and when he opens up the present, it's the Krampus bell.
Yeah.
And
Oh
then
no, I
even though
remember
his
now. I
family
remember now.
haven't alluded to knowing anything, you see, and I think it's very subtly and very well done.
Oh, they
Sarah and
exchange
Tom,
looks,
they're
don't they?
like
Yeah.
they exchange and their faces kind of drop, and then they're all just sitting there, and then we zoom out, and they're in a snow globe,
Yeah,
basically,
that's right.
trapped in there, having a Christmas forever.
I don't know why, for some reason, I completely forgot that moment. But yeah, yeah, I know what you mean now. So it's almost like,
How many years would you be Groundhog Day in it in a
yeah.
Christmas snow globe?
So they're in a Christmas magical surveillance snow globe. I guess a bit like Cabin in the Woods, but not so
Yeah. How many
magical.
years would you be in there until you actually did sit down and watch the King's Speech with Eternal Groundhog Day Christmas?
Oh God, a good while, a good while, 100 years.
I'd probably never watch it,
Yeah, I'd never watch it.
and he could say like, if you open the kitchen cupboard, you get out.
If I'm there
Never
forever as
know.
well, you know, what I mean, I'm putting my mind down to working out some of these big projects I've got. No, I've never got time for, you know. I'm going. I've got 100 years now to get this sorted. Fair shake.
Yeah, just
Um.
do it forever, and he'd be like, what are you doing? You've invented an entire new Star Wars trilogy because you write a few pages every Christmas day."
Oh,
You're like,
I've done more than that. It's my magnum opus. I've righted the wrongs of the world, you know, but they're all
you,
stuck in this snow globe.
yeah, you're really good. You've got so much. That'd be your ultimate revenge on Krampus to have the best Christmas every day
Yeah.
because it turns out you were in fact
I
the band
wish
wizard
it
along
could
you and
be a
Roy Wood.
wombly. I'd have a wombly Merry Christmas every single day because that'll show him. That's basically having a Merry Christmas is great, but having a wombly Merry Christmas will really
Oh,
stick with you.
it's like Christmas. You ever predict Christmas, but you're also recycling.
I'm recycling as well. Do you remember the wombling version of that song?
I don't remember it.
It was too long. It went like this. I wish it could be a wombling Merry Christmas every day. It went too long. It was like you ran out of breath at the everyday bit.
I
I wasn't
mean,
around when this came out. I think I discovered it at a later date.
yeah, your era, Ben, is surely more the Smurfs go pop with lots
Yeah,
of
but no,
Smurf related
I think you've
songs.
already mentioned it. Bo Selector, proper Grimbo. That was mine.
Ah. Yeah,
So how
we had
far can
lots
they
of
go
Smurfs
as well?
related songs with really bad cadence of song
Okay.
lyrics.
Is the house? Is it just their house that's in the snow
I
globe?
think
So
their
they can't.
house is now in a snow globe forever,
Yeah.
and then
Along
they're
with
just stuck.
there zooms out hundreds of others in this like underworld lair. Um.
Everyone who's lost their Christmas spirit, whether it's in war-torn
Yeah.
war-torn Europe or modern
But
suburban
also, like,
America.
I'm assuming you wouldn't ever run out of room, but everyone you punish every year, you have to keep them for eternity. Like, you're gonna, you, sure, I mean, you might run out of room.
I guess they have to have a certain amount of entertainment value for there to be a dysfunctional enough family for one of them to kick off and say, "Bloody wish you got Krampus,"
Yeah,
and for that to actually work. So
yeah,
maybe
maybe.
like he doesn't keep a snow globe with just the homeless person that hasn't got any Christmas spirit, so he comes to get.
Yeah. Oh well. But there we go. That's the end of Krampus. Have you have you got any name game for me?
I haven't written any, but I will try and top of the dome some if you like.
Okay, a boy who has a bad Christmas accidentally summons a festive demon to his family home. I've got some for you. Um,
Um, Go on, you go first, and I'll try and. I don't want to because
God, I'm literally.
I'll immediately go for ones that you've got, and they'll be very irritating. Whereas I haven't thought of any, you should just go.
Oh, I just thought of another one. I just don't know how to do it. Um, a boy who has a very bad Christmas accidentally summons a festive demon to his family home, and he gives everybody terrible, terrible pain from a build-up of lactic acid.
Is it Krampus but with a C?
Yeah, it is. It is. um, I've got to get this one out before I do the
Go
next
on.
one because I don't know what's going on. A boy who has a very bad Christmas accidentally summons a festive demon to his family home, and it turns out every single member of his family is played by Eddie Murphy.
That Professor Two, the Clumpus.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly how I was thinking of it. I wanted you to say Clumpus, and I was going to go, no, it's Nutty Professor too. The Clumpus. Can you remember the last time we mentioned Nutty Professor on this podcast?
I can't. It was something to do. I definitely remember Hercules came up and doing that clapping
Hercules.
though.
It was the substance. The substance basically ripping off
The
the
Nutty
the
Professor.
Nutty Professor storyline.
But he loves herself.
Buddy, yeah, buddy love.
Get bloody
Okay.
loved.
Yeah, you got any? You got any?
Uh, yes. A young boy um has a horrible Christmas and he accidentally summons with a bad wish a demon. And it turns out he's played by the same actor who was Marvin Home Alone.
Marvin Home Alone is Daniel Stern, right?
Yes, so what is he then? When he is also the demon that is the shadow of Santa Claus.
No. What is he?
Well, you know his name. If you're a
Daniel
bit more
Stern.
familiar with him, what would you call him if you're his mate?
Dan. Dan.
Yeah, Dan. And he's
Dan
also
Puss.
yeah, Dan Puss, very
Oh, for
good.
God's sake! It feels. I don't know what. I don't know what's going on.
Just imagine Krampus pulling that
Um.
mask off and it's Daniel Stern. Just
Okay.
jam some electric wires on him.
A boy who has a bad Christmas accidentally summons a festive demon who comes to the house
Mhm.
and gives everybody a knuckle sandwich. What does he do? Just gives everyone a knuckle sandwich. Every single one of them, one after the other, right on the chin.
Punch his beard off.
And they go, "Oh no, don't, please don't do that. Don't something.
Thumpus.
Don't what?
Thumpus.
Lampus."
Lampus, of course.
But
Lamping.
Fumpus also works. Thump
Thumpus
us.
uppercut his beard off.
Uppercuts beard off, clean off.
Um, do I have any more?
Okay. A boy who has a bad Christmas accidentally summons a festive demon who packages up each and every member of the family and takes them to the post office. However, he forgot to pay postage for each one, and all of them shout,
Stampus.
"Stamp us!" before you send us off,
Um,
please.
in
Yeah.
this film, a boy has a Christmas, and actually, he hasn't lost his Christmas spirit, but he just feels that there's not enough pizzazz, dazzle, razzmatazz about the family's Christmas. So, in his well-meaning Christmas wishes, he actually summons a third entity who comes to make their Christmas a little bit more blinged up.
Is it Gok Wan?
It's not Gokwan,
Is it Glampus?
Glampus.
Glampus. Very good. Okay. A boy who has a bad Christmas accidentally summons a festive demon to his family home, and when he turns up, he realizes there's no disabled access to the house, which he's angry about, if anything.
So he has to summon the power of Rampus.
The power of Rampus, which is I feel like is a very good deed to have been done, making places more easily accessed for disabled people. Well done, Krampus. Uh, any more?
Not that I can think of. I was desperately my brain has stopped finding actual rhymes, and I was very busy for a few seconds, then glazing over and thinking, was there a name? Was there a way I could get you to say Chad Kroger, lead singer of Nickelback? But it's not possible. I feel I've had a very
Singer of
loose episode
Nickelback.
today, Ben. I think we're feeling a bit silly. That is the Christmas, the nonsense season.
It is a nonsense season. I'm thinking, all right, one more. A boy has a very bad Christmas, accidentally summons a festive demon to his family home. And when he turns up, he he gives everyone a foot massage, a foot bath, does their little nails, puts a face mask on everybody, just treats them real well.
Um, I'm trying to think of what that word is called. Pampas. He
Yeah, well,
pampers them.
pamper us,
Pamper us.
pamper us, pamper us. Yeah,
That sounds like an Egyptian paper.
papyrus, the best font that ever was. Right, okay. I mean, that's all I've got. You got any more? Any more popped in?
No, no more that aren't Chad
Yeah, it's
Kroger
way too
related.
many, isn't it?
Yeah, a loose episode. I feel we maybe blitz through the plot there quickly, but in terms of review of this film, Ben,
Mm.
um, what are you feeling about it? Because it is that time. It's time for us to rate the movie.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think the first time I saw it, I was a bit like not so sure. I kind of thought, well, I kind of get it, but I felt the only thing is it does kind of sort itself out or resolve matters quite quickly and quite, I say resolve matters, obviously it is essentially a bad ending, but I feel like we get that final act kind of just flies through and I kind of wanted something a bit more big. I wanted all of these characters that have been like slurped off to all come back in some way and fight back. And I feel like it was missing that. So I'm just going to go for a B minus because I feel like it's still very effective. The first part of the film still works really well as a like a nice festive with a dysfunctional family, albeit situation. And but I think it's mainly for the creature designs and the way everything pans out once Krampus turns up. Um, yeah, B minus, I think.
All right. I'm
That
going to
help?
go for a B. I think I'm warming to this film year on year. Creature
Mm.
designs, nothing else to add there. They're very good. Um, like you, Ben, I think I would have been maybe happier with some sort of comeback ending and I'm not saying they should change it. I stand behind the decisions that they made to have like that lesson or that slightly haunting ending that they have there where they do
Yeah,
get to enjoy Christmas together, but there isn't a forgiveness, whatever. But also, maybe it's the season that it's tied to.
yeah,
But I'm not against a happy ending at Christmas time.
mm.
Of all the times of the year,
Yeah.
give me a little bit of hope for my
A
ending
little bit
there,
of hope. Yeah,
or
it's
maybe
like
maybe a more subtle ending. Like
I feel like
are
this.
they happy and everything's fine again, and maybe they're in a snow globe for eternity, rather than they definitely are.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Maybe just that little tiny tweak gives me that lovely bit of a spark of joy in my heart to finish up with. But I really like this film, and I really like the kind of messages that are behind it. And I think in this bloody polarized world we're in right now, Ben and everyone listening, sometimes like the prophet and wise man, another important topic at Christmas, Mewtwo once said that maybe if we started to think about, actually it isn't Mewtwo, it's Meowth, who says maybe
Slightly
if we
different.
start thinking about what is the same and not what is different, then who knows where we could be. And I think that's an important message that Krampus teaches us all.
I can't agree with you there. Nothing to add on top of that. Now you've said it.
You
I was
can't.
thinking if it was a more. I say that and then I start saying something. If it was a more like brutal film, more gory and like really mean spirited, them being trapped in hell at the end would have worked a bit better, because I feel like it's not like an out and out really like gory film or anything like that. I don't think there's any blood in it. Is there any blood in it really?
It's a
No.
bit bloody, but it's not like,
Bloody,
it's
something
not
like
explicit.
that.
Like no, no one's
Yeah.
got Howard doesn't get his bones kaplunked when the snow beast gets him.
No, no, it should have happened. But yeah, B minus for that. Okay. There we go.
Justice for the FedEx man, obviously.
Justice for Mr. FedEx, who's
Yeah, he
doing.
shouldn't have been included in that wish and frozen.
What's that? Oh, I've only got one more delivery to make. I know I said I'd be back
I hate
earlier.
Christmas, and he hangs up, and that's too
He
late.
goes, but
So
I'll just let you know before we go. I fucking hate Christmas. Bye. Um, there we go then. That's Krampus. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, become a patron over at patreon.com/horror hangout. Thanks to our patrons over there. Thanks to Taj Easton for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Thanks to Rusty Quill, who are now a member of their network. Please consider giving us a rating or review. Head over to www.horrorhangout.co.uk for more. All of our social media is there. Next week, our final stop before the big day, Christmas Day. Christmas Day. We're talking about Christmas Evil. And we got some special guests, right?
I've got some special guests. Some of the guys behind Dead Northern Film Festival are going to come and join us to talk about Christmas Evil next week.
Hell
People as
yes.
seasoned in Christmas screenings and events as they are, I look forward to hearing what they're going to come
Absolutely.
and join us with. And then, tell you what, Ben, get your Christmas countdowns on though, because Christmas episodes and Christmas movies very exciting, but it is the most wonderful time of the year. We are just 2 weeks away at time
Bloody
of
hell.
recording from Quiz of the Year,
Hell
the
yes.
big horror quiz bonanza.
The
Have
best
you
time of
fully
the year.
announced the teams yet, Ben? Do you want to share that
Yeah,
now as we finish for our
we
loyal
fully
and
announced
regular
the
listeners?
teams. We fully announced the teams, but if you're not aware, it is the team of recent guests on the show, Ash Millman and Elizabeth Bishop, and they're teaming up, and their team name is the Wicked Witches of the West Midlands. So there we go. Versus, obviously, me and Luke.
You
Me
and
and Luke
Luke.
Condor with a
What's
K,
your
with
what's your
Andy
team
as
name?
Quizmaster. We're called, I don't know, what are we called? The OG Horror Hangout Boys. Bold and beautiful.
How
Bold
you
and
spell it? How you spelling boys?
bold and bearded. Boyz.
BOYZ. I wasn't sure whether you're going to go IS, but
Never.
I'll allow YZ.
Boyz is definitely correct.
Yeah, what I
But
need
yeah.
to do, obviously, as part of my preparation, apart from finishing writing the questions, of course, got pictures to draw. I've drawn some of them for a little picture round.
Oh yes.
Um,
Looking forward to it,
yeah,
man.
obviously, the other thing I need to do is probably get some other admin done, get you all to send me a picture of you with like game faces on so I can put them next to your little scores.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man. Every year just gets better and better, doesn't it?
Yeah, I always look forward to the quiz. It's bloody work to write them, but it is worth every second because my commitment to
Absolutely.
you, Ben, and the listeners of the show is when I come up with these questions, I don't Google a single one. You'll never catch, you wouldn't catch me
No.
alive or dead or in a Krampus snow globe Googling Christmas like horror questions
Horror
for a
themed
quiz.
Christmas quiz.
Never
No.
perish the thought. All written fresh for you.
I never doubt it. They always feel like that. They always feel like that. And I never know what to expect, which is part of the excitement of it. So looking forward to it.
Well, I wouldn't give you any hints now, Ben, of course, because it is
I'll be cheating
time for
you.
a big surprise. We've got to make sure we're all ready for this. So join us for Christmas Evil next week. Join us for a quiz in a couple of weeks. And then after that, join us as we round up our films of the year.
Yeah. Oh, I can't believe it. 2024 coming to a close. Right. Thanks everyone for listening. And thank you, Andy, for being a right horror dude. And see
Thanks to
you
you, Ben.
next time.
Right, goodbye, everyone. And for goodness sake, right, Ben, what should they
Go on.
do?
For goodness sake, what should you do or what shouldn't you
Yeah,
do?
well, either. What advice have you got for people to finish up on?
If you're in the middle of a terrible, terrible war or a very, very difficult scenario, in this country or another, don't lose your Christmas spirit because Krampus will come and fuck you
Yeah,
up.
if you lose your
If
Christmas
you
spirit
lose your
even
Christmas,
for a second,
Krampus is gonna split your chimney in half, and
yeah,
that is not a euphemism.
yeah, and then the second he's done it, you'll be getting birch rodded right into hell. So watch out.
Sounds nice. Sounds nice.
That's all right for
Birch
some,
rod
I
me if you
guess.
want, Krampus.
I mean,
You
we
met your
live in a more
match.
diverse world than ever. Some people don't yuck other people's yums, everybody. If birch rodding is for you, then
Exactly.
that's all right. Merry
I'll
Christmas.
tell you what that would do though, Andy.
What's that?
It would come sharp.
It would come a bit sharp, you'd say.
Right. See you
Right,
later.
bye.
Bye. Bye bye.